Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about the major happenings around the world that you should be aware of. It's going to be a short video, and I want to start with a disclaimer that I am not a news reader, neither am I a journalism channel that gives you information about what's happening in the world. What I'm trying to do through this series is just highlight important topics from a GDPI perspective and add free links of videos and text resources that are hopefully neutral, so you can form an opinion of your own and you know what to study. Unsponsored, but a good resource which I really used a lot, which was very pocket friendly also, was this website called GK Mojo. They're very cheap, but the quality is very good. So I'd say it's a bang for the buck. And it's really good. They give you month-wise current affairs for almost a year, which is very, very important because abhi newspaper पढ़ के कुछ होने नहीं वाला है. The interviewer will likely expect you to know at least what's been happening over the past 1 year, which is why I also state that you can alternatively get a digital subscription of any newspaper of your choice. I'm personally biased towards the Hindu and the Indian Express, but you can literally take any newspaper, but take something which has quality journalism. Without naming the others, I'll tell you there are some shit papers. Anyway, so the first thing that you should be aware of that's happening in the world is what's happening in Syria, who the HTS are, what is happening to the president, why did the president flee from the country, what is the general flavor of what the citizens are experiencing, what are the repercussions for India and for the rest of the world. Remember, whenever there's a global issue, the first thing to ask yourself is how does this impact India? How does this impact the rest of the world? The second thing to look at is the South Korean crisis, where President Yoon tried to establish the martial law and now he's facing threat of impeachment. So things to know are, why did he put the martial law? What is the underlying unrest? What does this mean for the rest of the world? Is he right in doing so? Usually I refrain from giving you my opinions because that's not how it works. You're supposed to form your own opinions. But a good place to go to if you want to form an opinion is the editorial section of a newspaper. Preferably the Hindu or the Indian Express, and I swear this is not sponsored, but the reason I keep insisting on these two newspapers is because the quality of journalism is excellent. Even if you don't agree with their political stance, it gives you a good opinion, and you can always take a counter stance if you feel like you don't agree with what these newspapers are stating. Now, other things that are happening in India, one is, of course, the Places of Worship Act, why it is hot in the news, what it means, what is happening with respect to certain groups of certain Indian communities that are now stating that they want certain mosques to be turned back into the original Hindu temples as they're claiming. So in very layperson's terms, I can tell you that there is a certain cutoff after which, if there's a place of worship, it cannot be returned or it cannot be demolished to go back to what religion it was before. Let me just explain it through an example. If there's a mosque which falls after the cutoff date, and if people claim that this was constructed by demolishing a Hindu temple, you can't revert because it's after the cutoff date, so you have to respect it for what it is. Just an example. So I'll add links so you can read up more about it, so you know what exactly is happening around it. Another important thing which is happening, the thing is, there are a lot of things happening, like the winter session of the parliament, but I don't know how much of it will be relevant by the time your interviews come. So that's why I'm skipping a lot of things. The other thing is, which is not so relevant from a GDPI perspective, but good to know, is what is happening in Karnataka with the maternal deaths in Ballari. So basically the IV infusion which was being administered to new mothers was substandard, or something was wrong with the quality of it, which is why a lot of new mothers have passed away. Those are two things which are relevant from a GDPI point of view. Apart from that, read the Economic Times. There are certain, I read this beautiful article. It might be behind a paywall, but try to see if you can get your hands on it. It's about Indigo. So Indigo recently got ranked as one of the worst airlines. The article talks about how that's not true, because for so many people it has made flying a dream come true, right? So it's an interesting discussion to have even with your own self. We all, most of us must have traveled by Indigo at some point in our lives, and chances are you know that वो खाना नहीं देते हैं. The staff really don't care about us. The seats are very they're like a town bus, for the lack of a better word, but it has made flying as a dream come true for so many Indians. So it's interesting to see where you stand on that. There's no right or wrong answer. You just need to have a strong backing for the stance you're taking. So that's one thing. The other thing is about what is happening with Mamaearth. Their stocks have not been performing very well. So what I'm trying to say is that even business know what is happening in the business world, especially if you have an area of interest. Like when I was doing my interviews, I used to talk about how I was interested in marketing because I did advertising in my undergrad, right? So in light of that, I tried to stay abreast of all the marketing campaigns that were going on, my favorite campaigns. So if you're a fin person, know what is happening in the finance world. So an ET subscription is pretty good. Live Mint is also nice. So pick whatever you like. If you don't feel like investing on these, then GK Mojo le lo. It's very affordable, probably 300, 500 bucks. I don't know how much it is now. And this is not sponsored again, but they're very good because they give you an entire year ka summary, and they send you every month. They send you like a newsletter every month with a PDF which has all the information of stuff that have happened in that previous month. So damn good content. But the problem with GK Mojo is that it is just it gives you information. It does not give you a stance, and knowing mere facts is not going to suffice. It's important to have a stance. So you should know where you stand on that issue, especially if it says something like the Syrian crisis or what's happening in South Korea. Of course, if it is something, if it's a generally accepted and obvious truth, like the maternal deaths that are happening in Ballari, there's no two ways about it, right? There are no two perspectives. There's no right or wrong. It's definitely wrong. The loss of a life is always wrong. But when you're talking about certain crises in certain countries, whom do you support? Because neither of them are good, neither of them are bad. So they're all in shades of grey. So you need to take a stance and say, I support this side, or you can choose to be neutral. That's also fine. But you should have a strong backing behind it. Not कि मैंने ठीक से पढ़ा नहीं इसलिए I'm going to say I'm neutral. Even if you're neutral, back it up with substantial facts, substantial crucial evidence. So yeah, let me just go through my book to see if I missed something. I basically make notes every time. Oh, tungsten mining in Tamil Nadu. Now this is important from a environmental standpoint. So what is happening is that the central government has approved, I think the Vedanta group, to establish a tungsten mining plant in some part of Madurai, and obviously there's a lot of the Tamil Nadu government is resisting it because there's a huge environmental hazard. There's a risk to flora and fauna, to the lives of people because of the toxic waste that this plant will be generating. So this is important from a CSR perspective in terms of what is the responsibility of a corporate. So that's an important discussion you might get in your GD also. So read up about it. I wouldn't say that this is very, very important, but GD में आ सकता है कि what are some of the responsibilities that corporates should own. How can a corporate be more responsible? I'm just checking if I've left something out. Oh yeah, the farmers' protest is back again. It's been happening since I was preparing for my GD, my PI, sorry. And it's important to read up about it. Of course, now it's kind of simmered down thoda sa, but basically the farmers were protesting. They were on a march to Delhi. It was called the Delhi Chalo March, but the Haryana government attacked them with tear gas, so they had to retaliate. No, they had to retreat. Sorry, not retaliate. So read up about it. That's also very important. And yeah, with the advent of the elections in the US, you should know what Trump 2.0 means for India, what Trump 2.0 means for the world. Now, this is a more broad topic. You'll have to do a lot of reading to get a nuanced understanding of where you stand on the spectrum. But I'll try to add some links. And so don't forget to check out the description box. I'll add links, and I'll be back next week with another installment. If you have any suggestions on how I can make this better, drop it in the comments box, and I will try to incorporate it in the next video. Thank you, and see you soon.